Okay, good morning, my friends. So we are doing this on a Monday, kind of an overcast, cool Monday, but I believe later in the week, at this recording, it's going to get toasty warm. So maybe we appreciate the coolness because I know elsewhere it's very toasty right now. So nice to see that you have found the class so you could practice this morning. Let me let you know where we're going. So last week we focused on hamstrings, and a few of you let me know that you felt those hamstrings. So hopefully that was helpful in a way. And today we're going to open through the front, the iliopsoas, and maybe even the IT bands. So iliopsoas, think of it as coming from the small of your back, wrapping around your hips, and then connecting to your thighs. And then the IT band runs on the outer side. Pull my leg up here on the outer side of your knee up to your hip. These can become very tight and problematic. So we will prepare to do a pose. I don't do all that often. It's the camel pose. I did it last Saturday, so I'm going to repeat it today. I'll give you some preparation for it. And it is a kneeling pose. So if you know that you have some knee sensitivity, maybe bring a towel, a bath towel or something to pad the knees. I can always double up my mat and I do it that way. So that's kind of the plan. We'll do a little vinyasa, we'll do a little flow because, so my fireplace isn't going. My husband has off the pilot for the season, so, but I know many people might have their heaters on. So let's see if we can bring a little heat and chi to ourselves. We're going to start with some centering. We'll finish with a nice shavasana, and I hope you enjoy yourself as you turn in and become introspective. So let's take some seat on our mat. I'm going to go sit on my blanket. My voice will be a little different as I'm over there, but should be able to hear me. Everything looks like it should be. So welcome to yoga. For me, I'm going to sit what's called Sukhasana with my ankles crossed. That might not might not be the best for you, and so if you'd rather sit on a block, sit on your knees, sit with your legs extended, avail yourself of a chair. So let's get our body so that it can sit comfortably, addressing Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, action of Uddiyana, the lifting and lengthening of the spine, the softness through the neck and the shoulders, the crown of the head lifts skyward. Palms can be grounding onto your legs or open with your palms up and a mudra gesture. That's a finger to a thumb or a collection of fingers on your thumb. Don't worry which one, they all have special meaning and you'll pick the right one. Once you have sorted yourself and you feel that your body is okay and comfortable, then you might want to lower, close your eyes and come to be present. Come to this moment. So your first experience will be just detaching from your surroundings. And because we're practicing in our own space, there may be other sounds and noises that can be distracting, and so push them aside. And the second thing you may notice is if there's something going on in your body, a throbbing in your back, an ache in your hip, your knees. You slept on your neck wrong. Take those feelings under advisement. They are valid, they are important. They should guide you in your practice today. And then dwell in your breath. So first, observe your natural breath. Most of us breathe on the shallow side. And as you come to sit with yourself in your breath, find the connection to the beauty of life, the beauty of this presence. Feel the breath enlarge as you take more of life in and exhale out what you don't need. Sometimes the deeper breaths bring a little bit of dizziness, so always return to a natural breath if that happens. It's almost like a tide, it's almost like a wave. The breath moving in, the breath moving out, your own cadence. If you find that Ujjayi breathing is in your practice, go ahead and use it. It's that auditory component, can be useful, let you know when maybe you're holding your breath. As you flutter your eyes open and bring your head up and stretch the arms out to the sides of your space. So because you probably don't have a mirror in front of you, I will remind you that sometimes your body does things without knowing. So if I say make sure your shoulders are not hiked up, you'll do that. That if your elbows are bent and I ask them to be straight, you'll do that. As the arms rise up, the face lifts up, not feeling any pain. Kind of taking in this day, what will it bring to us? What will we avail ourselves in the course of our day? Joining the palms together and with hands at heart, remember to adjust our attitude into one of gratitude. And then I think it's appropriate, at least for where I am, to bring a little warmth and energy into my hands. So this brisk rubbing is really friction. Occasionally they will smack the hands. So you create this energy, this chi within your hands, which always feels nice. And then let's take the warmth and put it on our knees. Take the hands with all that vibration and let it move around your knees. This is usually something I do in the cooler months, but it is kind of a cool day where I am. Come back and let's do a little more friction making. This time we're going to place the hands on our shoulders, and you may be able to do same hands, same shoulder, or it's easier if you cross your arms. So go ahead, put your hands on your shoulders, either this way or this way. Kind of sharing that energy into your joints that will be necessary. As I come back to sit, I'm going to switch my legs because I'm sitting cross-legged, and I'm going to change that orientation. It's kind of weird. And then I'm going to circle my spine around. So if you're sitting in a chair, move to the front edge of the chair and let the spine just kind of circle around in the pelvis. I always visualize my pelvis as a bowl, and then my torso is the spoon. Change and go the other way, staying connected to your breaths and to your bandhas. And sometimes this moving around might let you know if there's cranky places. Maybe if we warm them up, they'll be a little happier. I'm going to end up back in the center, elongate my spine, always important. Right hand will go behind me, and then left hand can stay on your left knee or on your right knee as you wish. Draw the right shoulder as you're facing me back, and just look to the side. Not a big twist, just a little So maybe feel your left shoulder moving forward and your right shoulder moving back. And come back center. So my body is making all sorts of gurgling sounds to entertain me. Left arm now will go behind. Right hand can be either leg. Please get tall first. Turn second. As left shoulder goes back and right shoulder goes forward, this ought not hurt, should feel kind of good, methinks. And return center, a little lateral leaning. If you ever need to change your seating position, go ahead and do so. Let your right hand lean over to the right. It's going to give support to your back as you stretch out your left arm. I will wave at you. You can wave at me. So this lateral motion, opening the side of our body. And because we have the two sides that they look symmetrical, we know they don't perform symmetrically. So right now, keep your awareness as to how one side feels and is available. Using your breath to open and exhale to close. So my next one, I'll let the arms sweep around in front of me. Easy does it. That just feels really good. And then left hand to the side is the right arm. Keep yourself open. I'm waving at you. So we don't have to be doing this at the same time. If you're going faster than me or slower than me, that's okay. So I'll do two more, and then my next one will circle around in front of me because. Okay, as I come and sit nice and tall, let's do a little bit for the neck, but let's bring those shoulders up and down a few times. This is how I bring warmth into my shoulders. Look, they can go up and down. And where do you think most people hold their shoulders? Yes. And then, you know, the shoulders can also go back and forth. So let's do a little bit of that. They go back and they go forward. And they go back and forward. So you feel that opening of the heart and you feel that broadening through your shoulder blades. Again, pick the speed that makes sense for you. Learning to isolate your body parts is another wonderful attribute to keep in your hand. As we get stiff over time, okay, holding that still. Now let my head just drop from side to side. So when there's restriction, the body is pretty cool. It says, oh, well, how about if I do that? So just if it's a smaller tip of the head, that's okay. We're going to actually do half circles today. I don't do full circles, not that they're bad, I just think they're risky, so I don't do those, but if you like to do full head rolls, you're welcome to. What will happen is my ear will drop to one shoulder, then my chin will drop down toward that shoulder, then my chin will draw toward my chest, remind me to pull my belly in, then my chin rolls to the other shoulder, then my face opens up, and then I come back up. So you may have to go slowly so you can get all the parameters of this circling, or you may be able to just do it because it's something that your body says it can do easily. So let's do one more in this direction and then we'll go the other way. Okay, so when you're ready, it's a tip of the head, a turn of the chin, a drop of the chin, a focus to the other shoulder, opening your face, head back up. Once you've got it, just keep going. Hopefully that your neck is approving. Sometimes those upper traps can be slept on poorly and then they aren't so happy about this, so just work through it. Okay, next time you're up, you're up. Anybody get dizzy? Center yourself. Let's sit back If you're in the chair, you're gonna have to come out of the chair. Come down on your mat. Knees are up, feet are together. You can stay on your blanket if you want, or pillow, or you can remove it as we drop those knees from side to side. I'm gonna need to get moving here. Either that or I'm gonna go put my bathrobe on to warm myself up. Okay, I'm going to do that preparatory hip opening. So moving off my blanket, you go there. I'd like for you to lay on your mat. Doesn't matter which way your mat is, but you're going to lay sideways. I'm going to give you some options to find this opening. Remember, iliopsoas, quadriceps. So you can be up on your elbow, but it does feel different if you're able to come down. So whichever works better for you, but I'll just show you up on my elbow. So both of my knees are forward presently. Top leg comes up. Hand slides over my knee, down my shin to my ankle. As I let that leg drop down and let the top leg pull back as my heel moves to my bum. Now, this is in my ability to do, but if this one's difficult, the suggestion might be to take this bottom foot, your left foot, and push it against the knee to help hold the knee down, because for some people this is where they go. So if you can maybe hold that knee down, and then if you wanted to come down on your side, it just feels a little different. Again, nothing should hurt when we do this. We're just preparing a little bit. It's really nice to open your shoulder on that arm that's holding the leg back. A couple more breaths. If you have the foot over, release it, let go of that top leg. We're going to go to the other side. You can just flip over if you want. I'm going to go this way so I can still see you in my mind's eye. So both knees forward, top leg, down, grab the ankle, bring the heel to your bum, make sure the knee is not too high. You can fix that by bringing the bottom leg up onto the top leg. Or I like this one, so I go down here. It's different on each side, or is it about the same? This puts a little bit of arching in the back. We're preparing for the big arching when we do the camel pose, so to be expected. One more breath. Okay, gently release yourself. We're going to come up onto the hands and knees. If you need a little padding, go ahead. We're not going into the camel pose as yet. We're just going to do some cats and cows. I got my bendy toes turned under. I can either be on the palms, maybe knuckles are better for you with your thumbs pointed forward. Load your shoulders over your hands, knees under your hips, toes are turned under. Find neutral, natural spine. Support through the action of Uddiyana. Focus on the front edge of your mat. Shoulders are anchored. Do your breath. As you begin, draw up through your navel, drop down through your tailbone, and slowly look to your belly. As you inhale, inverse to the cow pose, lifting the tailbone skyward, drawing the shoulders down. Again, I'm not fond of crunching into my neck. I will look out, but I'm not going to look up. It's just not something I do. You're welcome to. That's you. So moving between the cat on the exhale, and then to your cow. My breath may be longer or shorter than yours. Involve your bandhas. Real good time to work on bandhas. Return to your neutral, and it's a hula move. Round we go. Going the other way. So I feel that my yoga practice balances out the negative work on my back in the yard. Okay, then I'm going to leave my toes turned under as your available backup. If you're able to come up and be on your toes, like no problem, come here. Maybe even go into like a little bit of a camel pose. This isn't for everybody. If you've got knee issues and you can just get to here with your toes, don't cause problems that you don't need, is what I would think. All right, I'm going to stand up. So if there's any props left on your mat, and try not to use your hands, rise up. Now you got your little bendy toes, right? They want to curl up. That's good. Step to the front of your mat and we'll move through a slow flow. Slow flow, just to get us going on the mat. That'll be a chaturanga with the elbows in, a little push-up. It'll be a down dog and a three-legged dog. Then we'll move into a flow. Here we go. Tadasana. Root the feet, engage the legs, lift the spine, be the mountain in your mind's eye. I suspect you cannot see Rainier. And as we breathe in, lifting the arms, lifting the heart, not letting the hips fall forward. Exhale, bend the knees, touch the earth with your hands to the sides of your feet. Shake your head a big yes, I am doing that. Then lift up your chest as you drop your hips down. Move your right foot back. Step it back, wiggle it, slide it. This is where some people like to have their blocks under their hands. If you have blocks and you use them, here's a good place for them. Pause in this low lunge. Push through the heel. Lift up the chest. Do the best you can. When you breathe in, lift up the hips, bend the back leg, push off, step forward. Once again, drop the hips, lift the chest, bend some breath. Left foot takes a turn back, then wiggle, wiggle, slide. Oh, how's it feeling today? Is there stiffness on one side? What's going on with you? Can you straighten that back leg? Is your knee still over the ankle, not beyond it? Lift up the hips, bend the back leg, push off, step forward. Transition the hands to your thighs. Straighten the elbows, bend the knees, find a chair. That could be as simple as arms forward or arms up. Balance upon all parts of your feet. Imagine a pillow between the legs. Some people do this with the feet together. I usually have my feet apart, so I imagine a pillow there. A little bit of sun peeking in. Burst from the earth, lift to the sky. Let the arms careful, don't hit anything with your hands as they come behind you. Grab the hands or lace the fingers. Straighten the elbows. And that takes your shoulders behind. See if you can lift the arms up off your back. And take a deep breath or two. Relax the hands down, but keep them bound. Step the feet out to the edges on the short side of your mat. Especially the heel, so you want to feel almost like you're turned in with your feet a bit. As you lift up the chest, my knees can be straight or slightly bent. If you know you're the person with the knees that go extra back, always have a little bend in the knee. Mine don't do that, so I can have straight legs and still be okay. So I'm going to lift up my chest, perhaps my hands lift off my back, forward fold, going out and over and down. Lean into your toes, so you say, oh, good morning to you, hamstrings. Let go with your hands, move them onto your thighs. Walk your feet inward a little bit. Feet are under my knees. So leave one hand down on one leg. And the same arm of the same leg will stretch up and that leg will straighten on the arm that's going up. So I have one knee bent, one leg straight. The knee that's bent is holding my arm. The leg that's straight is my arm reaching toward the sky. Feels good. Breathe out, bend both knees and come back center. Now leave your arm on one leg. That leg will stay bent. Straighten the other leg and lift up the other arm. Turn the body. return back center. Should we do that one more time? So traditionally we look up. If that's appropriate for your neck, you'll look up. It'll help you turn more. But if not, just look outward. And come back down, both knees are bent. Repeat the second side for the last time. And return center. Go through a chair pose all the way up, extend your mountain, and join the palms together with hands at your heart. So a sunburst, the arms open, you bend over and touch the ground, lift up your chest, walk back to a plank or a push-up position, so as many steps as it takes you to get lined up, shoulders over hands. Can do the knees down, hips are not hanging. Chin up. Elbows are in from knees or toes. Lower your chest and hips at the same time. Nice soft landing and relax the toes. Not pushing on the hands, I lift my chest and lower down. We call it baby cobra. Cobra. I go to baby cobra, maybe that's all I want to do, or I put a little pressure in my hands without straightening the elbows. There's my cobra. And down. Some of you will do up dog, not appropriate for everyone. So you either stay at baby cobra, go to cobra, or roll your shoulders back, lift up your heart, and come to the tops of the feet for up dog. Isn't that great for everybody, but you be you. Elbows in and come down. Let's do this 3 more times. Wait if necessary. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, go down. Inhale, go up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, go up. And exhale, come down. All right, the fun one, turn your toes under. Let's leave the knees down. Lift your hips up a little. Then lift up your chest. Now let's come to down dog. My feet are a bit far back, so I take a few steps forward. My feet are not too close, not too far, Goldilocks. Maybe it's best to bend the knees for this first down dog. Focus on my arms, my shoulders. Check in with your breath. Maybe you want to walk your dog a little bit. Get your ankles and calves warmed up. We're going to do some 3-legged dogs. So on one breath, a leg will lift up, doesn't matter which leg, and on the exhale, come down. Now your next breath in, switch legs. Inhale, leg up, and down. Couple more, just alternating your legs. Breath in, and breath out. Knowing you can keep that leg parallel, it won't go that high. Or I like to open my hip, it just feels good for me. And lower. Make sure your elbows are straight. One more, each leg, 3-legged dog. And with your feet down and down dog, raise your heels, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or jump yourself up to where the hands are, dropping the hips, lifting the chest. Now squeeze that pillow, release your arms, pay attention to your blood pressure as we rise. And join the palms back to the heart. Yeah, so watch the blood pressure. If you take blood pressure meds, that can affect going up and down. Eventually, it kind of works, it evens itself out. All right, a little bit of flow. Anything I offer, you can just skip and do child's pose anytime you want. So I do that little swan dive. Inhale, exhale over. Inhale, lift. Exhale, step back, right foot, drop my heel, I set my warrior. Reaching up, the arms go forward. Arm over leg stays, arm to the back of the same. So we know this is warrior 2, yes. Back leg straight, front knee bent. Exalted warrior. Side angle pose, that means that top arm will come by my ear. I can rest on my thigh or go a little deeper. Back to warrior 2. Windmill the arms, flip my back heel up, down to a plank to do a push-up, chaturanga from knees or toes. Baby cobra, cobra, or up dog, you decide. And come down. Toes under, hips up from knees or toes. Press off the mat, come to down dog. Let's all use the right foot as it lifts and breathe in. Now bend the right knee and move it up to your right elbow. Look up, look up, look up. And push back, three-legged dog. Bring that right knee forward to your right elbow. And push back. One more time, knee to elbow. And push back. Right foot's gonna swing through and step, so lift that standing heel, step the right foot forward. You're in a lunge, drop your back heel. So you're on warrior, other side. Arms up. Now if you say, oh wait, I already did that side, go ahead and switch sides. So whichever leg is behind you, that arm goes back. Deepen into warrior two. Watch your front knees. Relax your neck, your shoulders. Exalted warrior. Inhale, open. Exhale, side angle pose. So you have the choice of arm on thigh or arm down below. Back to warrior two. Back to your plank. Down to the floor. Inhale, go up. Exhale, come down. Hips up from knees or toes. Exhale, push to down dog. Adjust your feet. Left leg lifts, breathe in. Left knee, left elbow, look up, breathe out. Inhale, push back, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw forward. Once more of this, inhale up. Exhale forward. This one we're gonna step through. Raise your standing foot, bend the top leg, swing and step that foot. We're back to the first side. Second time, last time. Drop your back heel, mindfully rise through your core, open your body, warrior two. Exalted warrior, lean back, front knee bent. Side angle pose. That arm comes by your ear. Back to warrior two. Windmill down to the bottom of a push-up. Feel free to forego and just go to child's pose. Inhale, baby cobra, cobra, up dog. Exhale, down. Inhale, hips up from knees or toes. Push up into your down dog. Left leg, lift. Up, I guess we're on the right leg. Right leg, lift. And turn. Right leg, lift. And forward. One more lift. And forward. Now this time I'm going to swing and step the leg up between. Drop the back heel. And I do other side, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, chair back to your warrior two. Exhale, down to the bottom of your push-up. We'll do something different here. Inhale, lift, push up, and take a child's pose. So we got ourselves going a little bit there. Hopefully you followed along. Now you're in child's pose, finding that inner calm, using your breath. Okay, so we're going to do the camel pose. For those of you who have not done camel pose, it's a kneeling position, so if you need to take your mat, double it up, give yourself some more padding on the knee. Also, if you have two blocks, you can put one each side of your foot. I'm going to just use my feet because I always have my feet. So, easiest for those of us with back issues, I would recommend one that we're all going to do first. So if you can, be on your knees with your thumbs pushed into each side of your spine. Bandhas, of course. Roll the shoulders back. Use the hands to move the pelvis forward. So you create a tip and then feel your heart lift skyward. Some of you will look upward, some of you will look forward. Forward is just a little easier, upward, some people even drop their heads back. So you begin to feel the opening through the front, and you want to feel safe about this. So take all of the information your body is telling you in. Lift through the crown of the head. We counterpose into child's pose. So you make your way down. You see how slow I go? Not long, just enough to kind of balance it out. Now we're going to come back up and do what we've just done with variations. So, hands back at my back. If you want to take one hand back, it's easier with your toes turned under, which is why we worked on our bendy toes. It's more challenging if you leave your toes down and you put your hand on the instep of your foot at the heel. So I'm going to do my toes turned under. I'll say let's do right first and left second. So lifting my chest, pushing my hips forward a little, and feel free just to stay here. It's a lovely camel pose. Otherwise, release your right arm up and let the left hand reach down toward the left heel. So I have a right arm up and the left arm down on the heel of my foot. You can look at the high hand or you can look forward if that's better for the neck. Now take the high hand and pull it forward. It helps get you out in a safe way, I think. Relax the feet. Take a child's pose. Okay, come back up. I'm going to show without the toes under this time. Thumbs at the small of the back, bandhas. Lift the chest, press the hips forward a wee bit, and this is a good place to stay. As you release the left arm out, and for those who would, release the right hand to the heel. Again, looking up or not looking up. Try not to turn with the body. Your chest should be feeling like it's facing forward. Use the hand to bring forward. Once again, child's pose. Coming up, moving into variations of two hands will not be for everybody, but we're going to do it twice. So if you liked this one where you did one hand up, one hand down, go ahead and do it again. We'll have right arm up, left hand down. For those of you who want to do both hands, start with the heels up or with blocks, and then the second time maybe you try and see if you can go further or not. Waiting's always an option. So thumbs to the small of the back, lift my chest, let my hips go forward. This is a good place to stay. This is worth it. So option one, right arm goes up, left hand goes back. Option two, right hand continues back until both hands are on your heels, looking out, looking up, or looking back. And you breathe. Now to come out, bring one arm forward. I just think it's prudent to be careful as I return one more time to child's pose. So if you're going to do one more, which is up to you, And you want to do the toes down. I'll demonstrate that, but you can have your heels up. You cannot go back with your hands. But I come to that beginning position, thumbs at the small of the back, lift up my chest, let the hips draw forward, gaze out. Maybe this is good enough. Otherwise, then my left arm goes up, and then maybe my right arm goes back, and then maybe both arms go back. Not for everybody, but it's a camel pose. Release one arm, let it help you come out, and we all finish in child's pose. Moving ourselves up to standing position. Try not to use your hand. If you doubled up your mat, smooth it out. If you use something under your knees. Good. So the camel pose is really what adds balance to our life. Think about what you do all day. You're usually doing things with your hands in front of you. You're gardening, you're preparing food, you're eating food, you're reading, you're whatever. Everything's here, you're driving. And so doing extension of the spine, though it can be problematic for like spinal stenosis and other issues in the back, there's a way to do it mild and moderate so that you do get a bit of spine movement. Otherwise you get really stiff and then your body goes here and you know how that goes. So a little balance pose. So you can face wherever you want and come to Tadasana. The foot that you stand on is the grounding foot as we create a tree. Maybe look out a window if there's one nearby. There are different kinds of trees out there and they're all different shapes. So where you put your arms, whether they're down, whether they're out, whether they're like a cactus, whether they're extended, is up to you. Same thing with your foot stance. I will give you options and you just practice balancing on one foot. Now where you look matters. So maybe you just stare at something, be with your breath, and it sometimes happens that you step out of it because it sometimes happens. Our feet get funky, our eyes get funky, and our ears get funky. So self-acceptance is a wonderful thing. I'm going to ask you to stand on your left foot, root down as that will be your tree trunk. Let's bend the right knee and turn the toe open. Body didn't shift. Drag your foot back so you feel your heel tapping against your ankle of the standing leg and your toe is down. So arms, as I said, could be here, could be here, could be here, could be here, wherever that makes sense for you. Option 1, introductory. Option 2, at the calf. That way if you need the floor, not too far away. Traditional, you grab the ankle, assist it to go high or above the knee, not on your knee. And then for those who would do standing half lotus, you take the foot, you press the knee down, and you become a tree like this. So like I said, lots of different kinds of trees. Pick your tree, be that tree, draw your breath, and act your bandhas. And if you want more challenge, look upward, breathe. Find your hands coming to your heart. Carefully step out. Kind of notice the changes in your legs. And return to Tadasana. Each side offers its own challenges and strengths. So now root down onto your left leg. Bend the right knee. Open the toes. Stand tall, toe down. Foot on ankle or calf. Above. Standing half lotus. Whichever. Mix and match. Find your placement for arms and breathe. Binding your hands to your heart, stepping yourself out and doing the hokey pokey and shake it all about. Maybe if we keep practicing this, we can impress our doctors with our balance, right? All right, going into the inner thighs, probably going to be best if you face the long end of the mat. And for those of you who have blocks, if you wanted to put a block in front, you could. I probably won't use mine, but it's just a thing to balance on. You don't need it because you have your legs. Step your feet wide, really far wide. My toes are pointing forward. The edges of my feet parallel with the edge of the mat. Mula Bandha, Action of Uddiyana, thumbs to the small of the back. I lift my heart as I exhale. Heart leads forward, hands come out, slide down your thighs, maybe over your knees. Maybe your hands can come onto a block if that's easier, or onto the floor. Then maybe your head goes toward that block. Maybe your head is the one that can go to the floor. Try and lean a little more in your toes and greet the hamstrings. Leave your hands down, be it on your legs, the block, or the floor. Come up a little bit and begin bending your right knee. As you bend the right knee, careful as you go over to the right side. So if you had your hand on a block, you might want to use your hand on a knee, move the block over, and then lean on the block. If you didn't have a block, just lean on your thigh. Maybe the hands come down. Maybe for some of you, the leg that's out there extended flips up onto the heel so you can sink down a little further. Not for everybody, just go where you can go. If you've got some knee issues, bending here, here's what we're hoping to feel, the inside of that extended leg. Slowly return center, straighten both legs, hands again on your legs or on the mat. Big breath. Rising up, now bending that left knee, mindfully taking your time to get over to the left side, feeling your adductor on your left leg. Either hands come to the floor. If you have a block, a little bit easier, using your thigh if necessary. Flipping the toe up for those of you who can. Slowly returning center. So this time, imagine a pillow between your legs, big giant pillow. Hands come to the small of the back. Squeeze that pillow to protect your back as you gently rise up. Weight at the top or do a little back bend. As you return center, carefully walk those feet in. Nice. So you should feel a little lubricated through your hips. We're going to come down onto the mat without the use of hands. You can sit cross-legged. You kneel down, flop over on your hip. And if you need assistance, you should use assistance. So get yourself down on the mat. So this one I often do at a wall. It's a significant one for hips. Let me face you. See if that helps. Now, I'm not going to lean against this, but that would be really helpful. This is the one I used to do old school. So I have both of my feet, you see they're not together. And I'm going to lean back, but I'm not leaning on anything. Let's do one leg, you choose. One leg is going to come up, the ankle is going to go above the knee of the leg that's straight out in front. So as you're looking at me, it looks like my right leg is over my left leg. When I'm leaning back, that's helpful because I'm going to pull that leg that's out in front of me up so that the heel of that foot comes to the same bum. So left heel, left bum, right heel, right bum. Then use your hands to bring yourself forward. From the side would look like this. I was like this. I leaned back to get my foot up, and then I used my hands, lift up my chest. This should open up your hip of that leg that's on the cross side. pretty close to that toe with my face. Slowly release your body back so you can unfold those legs. Okay, shall we do the other side? Of course, it's the other side. Good luck with that. Ankle above your thigh, above the knee on your thigh, lean back. Now it's important to bring that heel of the leg out in front of you to the same bum because it's going to want to go across. It's just easier for it. So lean back as far as you need to and then use your hands to prop yourself up. Ooh, sometimes glutes, sometimes hips. Sometimes not as close as on one side, sometimes closer. Stay nice and tall, breathe. Walk your hands back, slide your legs out, bend both knees. Now the hands behind you, traditionally in yoga, when you put weight on them, the fingers point the same way as the feet. I've taken classes where they have your arms back here. I question that. Look at how much that opens my shoulder and it makes it vulnerable. And then when I put weight in it, I just question that. But I don't want to argue about it. So I will do my fingers forward. If you don't like that, if that's hard on your wrist, I would say knuckles with thumbs forward so that you're here, so you keep that shoulder alignment. But if you just want to put your arm back there, that's your shoulder, you can do that, no judgment for me. So my knees are bent. I'm going to go up into a table pose a few times. Now you may need to readjust your feet, feel free to do that. So what will happen is as I breathe in, I press down into my feet, lift up with my hips, and exhale, come back down. I'll do this probably about 10 times or so. Do what you can do. Here's the knuckle version. Go ahead and begin. I have made my 10 rounds, so I'm going to sit in cobbler's pose, bottom of the feet together. Feel free to bring that blanket or towel or pillow under your hips. Lean forward, quiet myself. Rolling my spine up. So I'm going to do something called the reach and sweep. You might find it inappropriate for you. So let me give you the options so that you don't have to do just reach and sweep. You can hold behind the knees, draw in through the body, and just hinge back and come forward. So by using my neutral spine, I'm engaging both sides of my core. So I'm not rounding my back and then working with my back. I'm hinging back and forward. And if you say you didn't need your hands, okay, you would do this. For those of you who are okay rotating, not everyone is, I can hold on to one leg and let one hand reach back and come up, reach back and come up. If I didn't want to hold on to my leg, other arm reaches out and come up. So you do what you can do. This should challenge your core. Use the exhale as you reach or lean, and the inhale when you come back up. Pause if you need to. Come back to your cobbler's pose for counter pose. Let's begin. I'm going to show both options just so you have a reference. Give yourself 2 more of whatever you might be working with. And when you've completed Bandha Konasana, don't go there first rounded, get up tall, go forward, then go forward. I just feel better about your back that way. Okay, as we come up, we're going to do an inversion today. Don't do those very often. You can always do the bridge pose. That's our usual go-to. You can scoot over to a wall and do a modified shoulder stand. But today I'm going to give you the shoulder stand option. If you've had issues with your neck, whiplash or anything, I wouldn't even do this. I would just do the one that's the safest, and that's either the bridge pose or scooting up, putting your feet on the wall, and then bridging up onto your shoulders, because safety of neck, I think, like, you don't want to mess up with your neck. Now, I have not ever learned it this way, but for those with neck issues, it's proposed that you put something, a pillow or something of height, and your shoulders are here and your head is here. Now it's a little more challenging to get to the start of the shoulder stands, but let me show you. I'm used to not using anything, so that's where I go. So let me just give you a little primer here. If you know you're not going to do this, feel free to just go to the bridge and get on with that, or over to a wall. But here, if I were to use a pillow, so my shoulders are here, my head is down here. Don't put your head on the pillow. The shoulders are here so that it's creating space for your head. Now the hard part is getting your knees up. Once you get them up, it does kind of push you and gives you support. So the hands come to your hips, the knees come to your head, and then you squeeze so that your hips and legs are in alignment. Now I'm not going to use this because it's just not what I'm used to. So you can use it as a support or do the other. If you're going to do the shoulder stand, if you want to do shoulder stand, I go in a stepwise fashion. I do the best I can to bring my knees first to my forehead. So engaging my core and then putting my thumbs into the small of my back. Then leave my heels at my bum and bring my knees up. Then straighten my legs above. So instead of my feet being over, my feet are more over my hips. This may or may not be your thing. Now for those who did the shoulder stand, we're going to go down and then we'll come back up and give you another chance at it. So the knees to the forehead, the hands go away, and you hopefully slowly roll yourself out. For those who are forgoing the shoulder stand, your bridge pose operates either supported for your back, or you tuck your shoulders under so the hands combine, and then push into the feet so you get a little more arching. And since we did the camel pose, that might be even a better way for you to go. So one more inversion. If you're at the wall, the feet are up on the wall. Otherwise you do the bridge. Otherwise you do the shoulder stand. So we'll all come out of wherever we were in that mindful way. And as you come down, stretch your legs out. If you're at the wall, come back. Take your arms overhead. Bring your feet together and cross your right ankle over your left ankle. And grab your right hand onto the left wrist. Arms continue over the head. You'll feel so thin. And then just use that hand and squirm or wiggle from side to side. Just feel that movement, that swinging from side to side. Switch the hand grip, uncross and recross the legs, arms overhead, continue squirming. Bringing your knees into your chest, either just holding the knees up but apart, or moving into full happy baby for those who do this. So happy baby, your tailbone is down, your feet are up, you're holding the outside edge of your foot. Otherwise, your feet are down, your knees are apart. And a little twist, so roll to one side or the other. As you bring the knees together, they come out from the hip. So let's get back. So if I were fitting on my mat, my knees would be stacked one over the other. And depending on if you have a shoulder issue, you might want to be behind that shoulder instead of on top of it. Reach the other arm up. Now this top knee is going to want to slide back as that hip pulls back. So I would like for the knees to stay one on top so the hip does not slide back. Watch the high hand as best you can and let it fall behind you. And most likely it will be suspended. For those who would like a bit more, that top leg can straighten out. It's not for everybody. So the bottom knee would be bent, the top leg would be straight, and the knees would still be one atop the other. So both knees bent, looking to the back arm, taking a few breaths. So the arm that's behind you will bend, you'll slowly roll on your side, and you can either just flip to the other side. I'm going to go the other side and get set up the same way. So you bend the knees come forward, rest on the head, bring the arm up, and let the arm pull back. So the eyes are looking toward the thighs. Eyes looking toward the arm. It's a good time to take deep breaths. If you want that option of extending your top leg, you can. Time for deep breaths. Bending that arm that was behind you, rolling back to your side, bringing yourself up to get situated for Shavasana. So if you have a blanket, you want to put it over you. You want to put something on your feet to keep them warm. Anything that makes you comfortable. If you were at the wall and you like the feet up the wall position, you should go there. So this is our important part of calming our inner self. Will help us with our sleeping. So as you get set up to get comfortable, I will transition. So this is where you have to push away those mental distractions that pop up. It's an important part of practice. And even around people where things are going on in your head and you're just feeling a little pressed, knowing that there's that indwelling calm place that you can go to, it's good. All right, so get yourself situated. Find your breath. So you can feel the weight of the body, body part by body part. You can focus entirely on the breath, maybe pausing at the inhale max and the exhale release. Maybe you take a few sighs with the mouth open so that you're going, ah. So finding your way down the path, leaving breadcrumbs so you know where to go when you want to again. We know that as we lay quietly, not doing anything with ourselves physically, that monkey mind can happen. This is not that, and so as those thoughts come bubbling up, just let them overflow and carry on. Wait for the singing bowl. Let this time be yours. And so there with the singing bowl is your welcome back. I have lovely thoughts to share today. This might be one of my favorite one in my book, and it comes from the 14th Dalai Lama. So as you lay there, you can stay as you are, or move to your side, or come to a seated position. And so Dalai Lama said, if you want others to be happy, practice compassion. And if you want to be happy, practice compassion. Compassion is not the same thing as sympathy or pity. Compassion is a more powerful and more difficult emotion. Compassion means understanding the suffering of others and wanting to do something about it. Practicing compassion goes beyond merely shaking our heads and sighing, "Oh, that's too bad." We must first want to change the circumstances of others, and then we must try our best to change these circumstances. So, thought for us today: it's easy for me to feel sorry for others. To be compassionate, though, I need to understand why people are suffering and then try to do something about it. So go ahead and bring yourself up to a seated position. I know that can seem really big, but if you don't think of it necessarily as worldly and just in your own world, that could be a start. So we come to sit mindfully. From our yoga practice, we know about bandhas, how to slow the breath, how to relax through our neck and shoulders where we might hold tension. And so living in our bodies well, practicing our whatever it is that we need. We all need a little different something. So you carry on into your day as you sit nice and tall and the arms open to the side. Let the arms rise, join together at the palms. We share that word, always means the light in me honors the light in you. We say, Namaste. So thank you, my friends. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you next Monday.